What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer. This time between the Shred Beer Company, and they are out of Rocklin, California, and the Berryessa Brewing Company, and they are out of Winters, California, and this is their Indo Outdo. So this is a West Coast IPA that comes in at 6.6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. And this can is approximately 6 weeks old. I'm going to give a huge thanks and a shout out once again to a friend of mine and fellow BeerTuber, Joe Senigaglia, for this beer. So huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link not only to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Joe sent my way, but also a link to Joe's channel. I'm sure if you're subscribed to me, you're probably subscribed to Joe. Joe has a fantastic beer tubing channel. He's been beer tubing I think for about 10 years now. I've been watching his stuff for many, many years, and he's such a chill dude, but a very, very nice guy. And case in point, he sent me a beer mail, a surprise beer mail that is, that contained 12 different beers, 9 of which were unique, and 5 of them come from Shred, so I get to get properly introduced to Shred by Joe. So huge thanks to Joe. Go check out his channel if you're not subscribed. Fantastic beer reviews, and I love how he pulls no punches. Just honest to the core, it's fantastic. Anyway, thanks again, Joe, for this one. So I'm really excited because, again, it's a Shred beer, never had anything from Shred, and it's a West Coast IPA. They're brewing this one with Mosaic, Nectaron, Cascade, Columbus Cryo, and Ekuanot Cryo. So a lot of different hops in there, and I love the name. Now, Indo Outdo, they're just talking about marijuana, aka weed, and Indo means grown indoors, Outdo means grown outdoors. But I'm always remembered of the classic Ice Cube movie, Friday, and there's a scene in there where Chris Tucker, his character is Smokey, hands a joint to Ice Cube. His character is Craig, and he takes a couple hits off it, and he goes, "You said this was Indo, smells more like Outdo." And that scene's fantastic, but the Friday series as a whole is fantastic. I love Friday. I love Next Friday, Friday After Next. All of them introduced us to Chris Tucker. The second one to Mike Epps, and the third to Cat Williams. Also, Bertie Mac in the OG wasn't as popular back in the 95 era. Fantastic series. I'm going a little bit off tangent. The reason why I say that, wearing my Ice-T and Ice Cube shirt today to represent. Anyway, I want to get into this one using the North Park glass because they do a lot of modern West Coast IPAs, and I thought it makes sense because I don't have hashtag proper glassware. Joe always says it tastes better in proper glassware. He's right. I just don't have any. So we're going to give it a pour here. And yeah, that's looking right off the pour like a nice West Coast IPA of some sort. Try to generate a decent head. Do something like that. And again, just love the art. Oh, God. Just a little bit of a steal there. It's fantastic. Love the artwork. So we are gonna show you that this is definitely, it's pretty clear. I can see my hand through everything, but there's this gentle haze, and I can't really see fine particulates, but it has a very gentle haze to it. But it has more of that like golden straw color, maybe a bit darker. Yeah, more like a yellow straw color, but a little bit darker and slightly hazier. Has almost a 2-finger of a soap sudsy bright white colored head. The light would indicate that this has like a sunshine-esque kind of feel to it. You hold it up to the light, but obviously we're not. But yeah, I think that looks beautiful for exactly what this beer is supposed to be. Let's get a nose. Ooh. Very fruity in a different way. But there's also this nice dankness. And on the bottom of the can, next to the can on date, it says all the dank. Yeah, I mean, it has that marijuana weed-esque, almost. There's no Simcoe in here, but if you've ever experienced like Simcoe as a whole, or like a beer that's just brewed like a single hop Simcoe beer, like that dankness. Some people get the cattiness. Me, I just get like this very big dank kind of generic quality. That's what I'm kind of getting here. It's very dank in the nose, but there's such a melange of different tropical and like stone fruit. Like I'm getting peach, mango, nectarine, apricot. But then I'm getting something like a honeydew melon, maybe a little bit of papaya, passion fruit, even like a white grape thing. There is no Nelson in here, so yeah, what's funny? Shout out to Bud, a viewer of the channel, great dude, has sent me beers in the past. We've exchanged some, drinks some fantastic West Coast beers. He also watches Joe's channel. I'm getting that diesel character that I get, or that he gets from Nelson. I've gotten like once in a beer. I'm getting here, and again, there is no Nelson, so I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, this is definitely, to me, a new age West Coast IPA. This isn't like the old school. it has that dankness and a little bit even like a floral, like pine kind of aroma too, but it's very fruity. It almost, and I mentioned this with a lot of these new school West Coast IPAs, they're almost IPL-like because they almost have the aroma of like a lager when you taste it, the crispness and the cleanness of a lager, but they're West Coast IPAs. This is fantastic. Just a touch of like a bready kind of malt character as well. Smells fucking, this is extremely complex and kind of over the top, but I love that. I love that. From a 6.6% West Coast IPA, fucking smells dynamite. Let's get into it. Cheers to everybody. Thanks again, Joe. Here's the thing. Man, let me go back. Got to be honest with you. The nose is definitely better than the taste. The nose is kind of in that realm, and they don't say DDH or anything like that, but I've said this before. I've been saying it a lot over the past like year. Double dry hop, triple dry hop beers for me, they almost kind of, I won't say they ruin the beer, but they set me up for disappointment because the nose is so boisterous and intense, and a lot of times just like fruit galore, kind of like this beer. And then I taste it and everything's dialed back and it's a little bit more subdued and subtle. And that's what happened in this one. The nose was just so vibrant. Here's the thing though, it's a West Coast IPA, so I'm okay with it. So let's go body mouthfeel first. Body, this is like lower side of medium. Definitely a little bit thinner than maybe you would think, but I'm okay with that. It actually enhances the drinkability. The mouthfeel is old school, moderate carbonation, very crisp on the palate, quite clean as well on the palate. Again, give me that little touch of that IPL vibe. The taste, right up front, I get a nice like white bread, a little bit of like a, yeah, I'd say like a little bit of a crackery white bread type of malt character. Dives underneath the palate, and then I get citrus, and I wasn't really getting that in the nose. I'm getting more like, you know, orange, tangerine, grapefruit. Yeah, more of like a Tangelo. It has like a little bit of juiciness, but it's very pithy and kind of like rindy. And the bitterness kind of hits me right in the middle of the palate as well and kind of carries on to the back. There's underlying kind of like the papaya, the passion fruit, some of those stone fruits. But again, it's not as vibrant as it was in the nose. The finish though, this finish is like moderately to maybe moderately to full on bitter for me, like on the back of the palate. Like it's not like it's not palate wrecking per se, but it's definitely intense on the bitterness. And it's also quite dank, and again, that floral kind of resinous pine tone on the finish as well. This is semi to full on dry with again a moderate to full on bitterness. Definitely leans more dry and bitter than it is sweet, which is what you want out of the style. At least I think most people do. So I would say this beer has like the soul to some degree of an old school West Coast IPA, but the aroma and some of the characteristics are more of the new school style. So it's kind of like a hybrid, and I can get down with that. 6.6%. Yeah, drinks like a 6.5%, 7% West Coast IPA. Really highly, this is scary drinkable. And I say that as somebody who a lot of times says, hey, I don't love super dry beers or super bitter beers. And this isn't super bitter. It's not super dry. It just has the combination of the two that make it feel a little bit more like, as I'm talking to you right now, there is a dryness building up on the back of my tongue into my throat that is reminiscent of old school West Coast IPAs. And if you're a new school hazy drinker, somebody who has never had like a firm shot of bitterness from an IPA, this would probably blow out your palate. If I drank this like 10, 12, 14 years ago, this would blow out my palate. Like I'd be like, no, way too bitter, don't want it. Now I enjoy it, and I enjoy this one quite a bit. And I love the aroma. Like if that aroma would have carried over with what the other characteristics I'm getting the taste, this would be like 4.5 into 4.75, like rating wise. Like I'd be kind of losing my shit. As is, I love, the artwork's nice. The name is fantastic. The whole package is really good. But I'm not going nuts over this one. So I'm going to give Indo Outdo from Shred and Berryessa. I have no issues. I think I would go into like the low 4.25 range for this. Yeah, I'll go 4.2. I think that's kind of where this one lands. I like it. I like it quite a bit. It's very tasty. I'm going to drink the rest of that and thoroughly enjoy it. I just wish if the nose would have carried over, I think it would have been like that full-on new school West Coast IPA that I love. It would have definitely been in the 4 or 5 range. But regardless, this is a really fun beer and super tasty, and I enjoy it. And it's a cool collaboration, and it's my first Shred beer, and it's pretty damn good. So, yeah. Anyway, price point and availability, this is where I say I have no idea. I know Shred opened up their doors, I think it was July, August of last year. Is definitely in the summer of last year. They're relatively a new company, but I have no idea what you pay for something like this. Let me guess. $16 4-pack, $18 4-pack, somewhere in that realm, I would say. If it's still cheaper than that, that's awesome because it's California. It's a West Coast IPA. But, you know, Joe, if you know, or anybody else who watches this knows what this one costs, or any of the West Coast IPAs in the 6.5–7% range, let me know. And like I said, availability, I don't think they go, you know, get much distro outside of probably Rockland, California, and the surrounding areas, maybe a little bit. But yeah, maybe you can, you know, order this stuff online. I have no idea. I just know that I have 4 more from Shred, and I'm looking forward to them. And in fact, you're not going to see the review until next week, but later on, I'm going to review another beer from Shred. 2 in one day. I don't typically review 2 beers in one day, but we're going to do it today because why the fuck not? So once again, huge thanks to Joe. Go check out his channel. Like I said, I got 4 more Shred beers, and I can't wait to get into them. The one I'm going to review after this and post it next week is a hazy IPA, so I'm curious to see what they do in the hazy realm. So anyway, if you've had this one before, comment section. Once again, thanks, Joe, for this beer. And yeah, at the end of the day, did I mention 6.6% kind of, you know, tastes like a 6.5–7% beer? I think I may have. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm going to drink the rest of it to the next one. Cheers.